Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and today's video is the big one, ladies and gentlemen. And no, I'm not talking about the Pepsi Max at Blackpool. I am talking about the biggest and best derby that is in football, in this soulless, commercialised, half scarf world that football has become. There is few and far real derbies still left that's absolutely there, and this one right here, ladies and gentlemen, is the cream of the crop, as we're here to talk about the one, the only, the Old Firm. That's right, it's a special game every time it comes around in the calendar, and it is finally here. I mean, it was supposed to be here a little while ago, but obviously it was postponed and everything like that for the fans, you know what I mean? For the fans, so they can actually watch all their injured players come back and play in the game that wouldn't have been able to play. Now, did I have to go ahead and say that? No, but did I want to? A little bit. But all joking and winding up and baiting and all that to one side, let's go ahead and talk about this massive game of football then, shall we? And as always, for the previews, we will start off with the oppositional preview and have a look at tomorrow's opposition in Celtic, who currently find themselves sitting second, 2 points behind the champions. And you know something, it's very interesting to look at Celtic's season so far, because if you go back to even when we made the league prediction video all those months and months ago, they were a comedy show. After last season, chasing buses, throwing sharks, losing 10 in a row, it was hilarious watching it. And then you had the Eddie Howe situation, the one guy that they wanted, all that fell apart. It was all funny, right? You couldn't really see anything not being funny about them. They hadn't signed that many players. I know they had signed Starfelt by the time I made that video and that, but it was mostly players that were linked with leaving, like Aya, Edouard, stuff like that. So you could actually go ahead and laugh at this situation. But skip forward to where we are now, ladies and gentlemen. You've just got to hold your hands up and say they're not a comedy show anymore. They've sort of got their house in order and they're starting to go ahead and do things. I mean, not only are they finding ways to win football games again, but they've went ahead and signed, what, about 16 players since I made that league prediction video. That's frightening. This is like basically a completely different freaking team than the one we had previously been looking at and thinking we were actually going to go ahead and play this season. And again, they've found ways to win. They've got their style up and running. They've already won a cup this season, of course, with a 2-1 win over Hibs. Yes, Hibs were denied a clear and obvious penalty, but you know, ref mistakes only get highlighted when it's Rangers involved. Again, I didn't need to do it, but I want to. Back to the old preview. As I was saying, they are basically a new team, not only in terms of their personnel, but the way they go about their business and how they approach games of football. But again, we have seen this firsthand so far this season. Back in Ibrox, when Steven Gerrard was in his slippers, we managed to beat Ange Postecoglou's Celtic side 1-0 at Ibrox. We were able to conquer and deal with them on that day. Fingers crossed that continues tomorrow. But even after that loss to Rangers at Ibrox, it didn't change or tweak anything, and they went back to their winning ways, despite a couple of wee odd results here and there, like the loss to Livingston, the draw versus Livingston, the draw with Dundee United, and of course the draw with the St Mirren under-18s volleyball club. They have continued to stick to the principles that Ange Postecoglou wants in his Celtic team, and that is to attack. And I think that fact right there really adds a wee bit more spice to a fixture that's always incredible and must watch, because again, they can only play the one way and they will come out and go all out and go attacking and get in our faces. And we've obviously got a clear identity under Giovanni as well, so it's setting up to be an absolute fireworks display tomorrow night. But there is something that I feel like I want to actually say regarding the hype up and that we're hearing about Celtic. Because to me, coming into this game of football, there's a bit of a narrative being spun about this game that it completely favours Celtic, and Celtic are the clear favourites coming into this game because they're playing well, they're dominating, they've closed the gap on Rangers, whilst we are almost an afterthought in this upcoming game, and we are there for the taking because we're playing pish. But to me, that is absolute bollocks in my opinion. Yes, if you compare the last two games and everything, that is disappointing and obviously advantage to Celtic. But if you look into those games, we got that 1-0 win versus Livingston, right? We got that disappointing draw versus Ross County. But if you look at Celtic's running coming into this game from their two matches, they are a missed penalty away from Liam Boyce for dropping points at Tynecastle. They are a last second missed header 6 yards out from a Dundee United defender away for dropping points at home versus Dundee United. Now I know if your auntie heard boy should be your uncle, but I just want to present to you what's actually happening in these games. You know what I mean? Looking beyond the clickbait of them win-win, win-win. It's not as if they're blitzing teams and nobody's getting near them. They are still a bit defensively iffy. They will give you a couple of opportunities a game, and they are actually in games. And that's not me even taking digs at Celtic or trying to rip the piss at them or anything like that. They're doing the most important job in football, and that is seeing these games out and winning games, so credit to them for that. But I just wanted to mention, ladies and gentlemen, because I'm seeing all this stuff that's actually out there, is this game is still balanced in my opinion, despite it being away to Parkhead, and it's going to be an absolute fireworks show. Celtics are maybe the wee bit of the sprinkling of luck lately if you look at their fixtures compared to what's kind of happening with Rangers hitting the inside of the post when you're winning 3-2 versus Ross County. It bounces back out, Arfield just misses it. You get those little things in football, and people have the Robbie Green. We didn't have it right now. Hopefully that changes tomorrow. But again, all I'm saying, coming into this game, in my opinion, both teams are by far the strongest they've been in a very, very long time. And I genuinely think this game's right here is going to be unbelievable for the first whistle to the last. But I just wanted to vent a little bit and get that off my chest, because all I'm seeing is lazy journalism everywhere, and to me, this fixture deserves actual more. But regarding the Celtic team and everything in terms of updates, how it's looking, Kyogo is out of the game, I think. I mean, I even asked Ryan118, is he in? Is he out? And he was like, I don't know, mate, but I'm pretty sure he's out. So, the Kyogo injury situation looks as if he's going to be ruled out the game. So, that means Balogun's got a wee bit of space in his back pocket for the upcoming game. Then, shall we? Callum McGregor is listed as a doubt, even though, again, I thought he was out. But Ryan says there's a chance that he can actually make it. And then the one player I would say you actually have to look at who didn't play in the last game versus Rangers is actually going to be Jota. I think Jota is their best player, even with the new signings and even when Kyogo is fit and not to play. I think Jota is their guy, and when they have gone through periods of the game when they have been struggling and faltering a little bit, they just kind of kick it to him and he runs it wide, makes a ham and cuts it in. So I think Tavernier is going to be in for a massive game defensively, and he has to win that individual battle if the 3 points is coming back home. And that's kind of it for the old Celtic preview. They're a much better side than they were over the last season, and even from January I think they've improved and they've got more used to the system and everything like that, and they've added some other important pieces. So it'll definitely be a difficult game, and I think it's the highest standard they've been in a very long time in that as well. But moving away from the Celtic perspective, I want to get to the thing that matters most to all of us here on the channel, even if you're a Celtic fan still watching, by the way. We're now talking about Rangers Football Club, the champions. That's right. I just wanted to put the champions in there because it's as if everyone's forgot that we are the current champions, the way this fixture's been talked about and the way Celtic's been talked about today, this and that versus us, the Mora. Which is baffling because Rangers have shown over the last couple of years they know how to turn up for this fixture and they know how to win this fixture, and that's the way I'm going to be looking into this game, because I've seen a lot of discussion online. I even saw it in the comment section of the Ross County draw and everything like that, saying, oh, they're a wee bit nervous, this game couldn't have came at a worse time for a Rangers team or anything like that. But I'm actually the exact opposite. I actually look at this game versus Celtic, even after the disappointing game at Pittodrie, even against the disappointing game versus Livingston, even though we won that one, and even after the draw, this to me, despite us no winning games and our winning run and everything like that, comes at the perfect time, because if there is one game out there that can get this team firing on all cylinders, it's this game, the Mora. And that is how I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the likes of Ryan Kent, who always comes alive in this game, and this is the type of game that can spark them. So instead of being negative and saying, hi, we're not in a winning run this year, we're no certain amount of points clear or anything like that, couldn't come at a worse time for me. No, this is the game that we need to get us back to who we can be. And speaking of remembering who you are, that leads me to one of the main questions that I've seen talked about online and talked in the comment section from you guys asking me, and that is going to be Alan frickin' McGregor. Does he start tomorrow? And people's asking me my opinions on that. And for me, it's not even a thought. It's not even, like, it doesn't even comprehend. I just hear it right away and it's like, yes, yes, yes. Of course, Alan McGregor starts. Did he have a horror show versus Ross County? Yes. But is he still one of the best goalkeepers we've ever had at this wonderful football club? Yes. And this isn't a keeper that's living on past memories. This is a keeper that's won us games this season. So without any without even a shadow of the doubt, in my opinion, McGregor is in there for us. And I watched obviously the press conference just before I started filming the video, and it looks as if Giovanni is thinking the exact same thing as me when he was asked whether or not there was a possible switch He doesn't even think of dropping Alan McGregor or replacing him as a number one, and I think that is the right way. Not only in terms of ability, but you're talking about going to Parkhead, ladies and gentlemen, and that's a difficult task anytime. But going into Parkhead with the way the crowd's going to be, because this is a Celtic fan base now that's not seen them beat Rangers for what, almost 3 years since that's the betters in a game. They will be raucous. Their hopes and dreams of 10 in a row was ripped away from this Rangers team. That is going to be a poisonous, toxic atmosphere, and if there is one guy that I want in the Rangers team that's going to be able to handle that and just be calm about it and spread that calmness throughout the Rangers team, it's Alan frickin' McGregor. So for numerous reasons, ladies and gentlemen, should McGregor start in goal versus Celtic tomorrow? For me, yes. What about you? Let me know down there in the old comment section below. And whilst you guys are hopefully getting your thoughts and opinions on whether or not McGregor should start, I'll transition and tell you more about the Rangers team news, because unfortunately someone who won't be involved tomorrow is our newest signing, Mr. Aaron Ramsey. Despite him being in training and running about and getting himself out there and trying, Gio just doesn't want to risk him just yet, flinging him straight into the lion's den, if you will. I can't even believe I've just said that. Oh no, I feel ill because I can hear it in my mind. Don't do it, Ryan. Just don't do it. But aye, Ramsey's fine and everything like that. They're just not throwing him right in to the actual team. He should be available for the weekend, and I imagine he will be starting at the weekend as well. So that's going to be a very warm welcome for him. And maybe that's the way he should be actually introduced. At the Ibrox crowd, get him behind everything like that and show him what we are all about. Make a fantastic first impression. So no Ramsey tomorrow, but again, that does leave the door open for the likes of Scotty Arfield, because I think you need his type of personality. The likes of Ryan Jack could now come in there with a wee bit more steel in the midfield. If he wants to go with Sands, which would be a big call, I'd rather go with the previous two, but again, Gio's options are open. It's not as if Aaron Ramsey's no playing. That's us absolutely buggered. No, we're still pretty well stacked. Speaking of stacked, by the way, if you look at our attacking options, you of course have Kent, Sakala, Diallo, and I think it will be Kent on the left because he loves playing against Celtic. Absolutely hates anything in green, I've heard. Doesn't even like pot noodles, the chicken and mushroom kind. He'll be on the left hand side. Diallo, I would love to see him start at the right hand side, and I would love to see our boy Kamal Roof up top. And this is my last little thing that I'm going to talk about with today, because I know big Cedric Itten. There's a very good chance that Cedric Itten starts tomorrow, and that might annoy a lot of people, but I just want to talk about something that I noticed when I was looking at Giovanni Van Bronckhorst's time at Feyenoord and everything like that. They had a guy called Jorgensen, whatever you want to pronounce it like. He was up there and he played exactly, and I mean exactly the way Itten's been playing. Sitting like this and just getting the ball past to him, hitting it so other people can run it in the box. Carbon copy. I mean, the only difference between Itten and Big Jorgensen so far is Jorgensen was also rattling 20 goals a season when the chances did for him. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Itten does start tomorrow with just this game plan. I'll stand here on the defenders, you hit a 1-2 and I'll pass to you, because Gio has shown at his time at Holland that's what he likes for his big centre forward. So aye, there may be some upset people online there, but if it was up to me, I'm going with Sakala or Mr. Hit it on the chest, Kamal Roof. And aye, that's kind of it for the Rangers perspective. We know what is needed. To finish up regarding other injury updates or anything like that, Helander is back and he's getting amongst it, but obviously the games came far too soon for that. Balogun, however, is now fully fit and ready to start, what brings the last question of the episode, and that is, do you go with Bassey, who has performed well but recently really started to drop off, where he's had a very terrible game in my opinion versus Ross County, or do you go with Balogun, who had such a tremendous game versus Celtic the last time out of position? Do you put him in there for the height and the physicality at the centre back, or do you stay with Bassey, who's obviously got the pace? A lot of that, I imagine, will go with how the game plan for Celtic, because if it's the big Greek guy, you're probably putting Balogun in there to win in the air, or if it's a Barra, you probably want Bassey's pace there to cover from anything gone behind. So I'd love to see where he's lie with that again, and I'm not wanting to annoy anybody, I'm just going to tell you how I think. I say we go with Balogun again. And with that being said, that's reached the end of today's video. Now again, I've tried and put as much information as I can in the previews to let you know how both teams are looking, etc, etc. Now I haven't done one of these in a very long time, because obviously we know I was kind of struggling at the end of last year and everything like that. So hopefully it's been alright. Again, I'm a wee bit rusty in terms of the preview, but hopefully it's tell you a little bit more about the actual fixture. And the last thing we need to do is try to predict the unpredictable. If you're still watching today's video, how do you see the Old Firm going tomorrow? I think it will be a battle again. I think this is both teams have strengthened significantly, and I think this is the strongest they've been in a very, very long time. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think it's going to be a heart attack, a second type of game with both teams having moments. But again, I'm always going to back my team, and I fancy us to go ahead and nix on here. And I'm going to go with the old channel favourite, because why not, ladies and gentlemen? You know, who cares if it's right or wrong? But I feel like I might be right. I'm going Rangers 2, Celtic 1. Goal scorers, it's very difficult, but I fancy Kent to scoring a goal in the game. And you know what? I might be a prisoner at the moment, but I'm going to go with Diallo in that as well. I think he's going to have a big game. We talked about Jota 1v1 with Tavernier's going to be a massive point in the game. Well, what about our boy Diallo going at their fullbacks? Could be an interesting battle, but aye, that's it. Finished, done. Cannot wait till tomorrow's game. Again, because it is so late, you're probably seeing a match reaction about 1 or 2 in the morning. So I will see you then after the game. Hopefully it's a happy time. Hopefully you're looking after yourselves and that as well. I've been sieging over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. Take care of yourselves. See you more after the game. All the best and bye-bye.